Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, Dell?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment, coming to you live from Moonbase Redhead in Crater Valley.
Are we?
I am. I'm coming to you live from the moon, because why not?
All right.
First, before the stream started, point curation, thank you. Well, hi there, Puddin' Pops. Yes, title of the stream, because I'm such a clever boy, it's J-Lo, where we're putting pops. We'll get to that shortly, but hello, chat. Hello, everyone. I hope you've had a good Tuesday so far, and everyone is well. How are you guys doing? How are you, Satsu?
I am good, and I'd like to extend a wonderful welcome to all the wonderful members of the nation. Hope you guys are well today.
Oh, God, we don't have a nation, do we?
We do. We got a nation of fucking...
Everybody's got a nation. We should have something else.
A nation of lordlings.
No, we need something else. I don't know.
A posse.
Yeah, maybe a biome. How about a biome? A biome of attendees and fans. And how are you doing, Monkey?
I'm okay. How you doing, Scribe?
I am doing all right. Again, had a relatively uneventful work day, which was nice, and came home and did practically nothing. I tried to find things to work on as far as like videos and stuff, but I got a couple of ideas, but nothing really jumped out at me. So we'll talk about that at YouTube time. But before we get to anything else, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button if you have not already, and at least 3/4 of you have not. So shame, shame, shame. And share our stuff. Retweet, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, Napster, whatever you like. Because YouTube doesn't do any heavy lifting for us in that regard anymore. So, but before we get to anything else, we have a birthday.
Oh, whose birthday?
Well, it happens to be the 7th birthday of Jenna P's niece, Eva. So we must sing to the young Eva.
I'm down.
Alrighty.
So,
Eva, are you out there? Hi, kiddo. I hope you had a wonderful birthday, and this is for you. And a 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to
you.
Go watch cartoons.
Happy birthday, dear Eva.
The show is not for you.
Happy birthday to you.
I hope you had a good birthday, kiddo.
Yep, happy birthday, Eva. Let's see. Do we have anything else to chat about or plug before we move on to the wonderful world of the schnuz?
Nothing jumps out at me.
Okay. Satsu?
Nah, bruh.
Nabra?
Nah, bruh.
Abracadabra.
Nabra. That should be like a restaurant name. Nabra.
Nah, bruh.
Where you want to
Can
go?
I get an order for Nah, bruh.
Hey, you want to go to some fancy restaurant? Nah, bro. All right. Well, our top story, Bill Cosby has been sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison for sexual assault. The sentencing came down today. Bill Cosby, once known as America's Dad, was sentenced Tuesday to 3 to 10 years in state prison for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand at his home 14 years ago. Cosby's bail was revoked, and he was escorted from the courthouse in handcuffs. Quote, "This was a serious crime," Montgomery County, Pennsylvania Judge Stephen O'Neill said. "Mr. Cosby, this has all circled back to you. The day has come. The time has come." Cosby, convicted in April of aggravated indecent assault, declined to speak to the court prior to the sentence. His attorneys have filed an appeal. He also was ordered to pay a fine of $25,000 plus the costs of prosecution as part of the sentence. In addition, O'Neill ruled that Cosby will be classified as a, quote, sexually violent predator, unquote, a determination that requires lifetime registration, lifetime mandatory sex offender counseling with a treatment provider, and notification to the community that a sexually violent predator lives in the area. Cosby was booked into Montgomery County Correctional Facility and will be transferred to SCI Phoenix, a state prison in Collegeville, according to Corinne Emerson, a public affairs manager for Montgomery County. The lengthy path to this moment began in 2004 when Cosby, the groundbreaking actor, gave Constand pills to incapacitate her and then sexually assaulted her. She told police in 2005 about the incident, but prosecutors declined to press charges, and they settled the case in civil court a year later. A decade later, dozens of women came forward to say Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted them over his decades as a powerful media figure. Constans was the only one of those cases that occurred within the statute of limitations. A new team of prosecutors took up the case and, relying on Constans and Cosby's statements in a civil deposition, arrested him in December 2015. A first criminal trial against Cosby ended in a hung jury, but in April, Cosby was convicted of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault for drugging and assaulting Constand in the first high-profile celebrity criminal trial of the Me Too era. And it goes on for a bit to reiterate a whole bunch of stuff, but that is the big schnuzz as it was in that story. Not quite sure what else to say. 3 to 10 years at his age and his health. I would anticipate he's probably going to die in prison.
Probably.
So there you go. It kind of reminds me. Irate Bear's in the chat. Hi, Bear. I would be curious to know. So the comparison I can think of as far as like standing in sort of like the country and celebrity and stuff, similar to England or UK, would probably be Jeremy Savile, except that Jeremy Savile wasn't really exposed as a predator until after he was dead. But it's one of those things where you got somebody who's like been the pinnacle of sort of pop culture Americana kind of thing, brought completely down to the bottom of the basement.
I don't understand why he didn't move to France.
Don't we have an extradition treaty with France?
Isn't that where Polanski's at?
Yeah. Is it France? Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we have an extraditionary treaty unless you're fucking little girls, and then they'll protect them.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so that happened, and I think aside from maybe unless there's a successful appeal, the next time we'll hear about Bill Cosby in any significant way is either after he gets out or when he dies in prison. One of the two. Let's see. Angela Ariaga says, Scribe, that doesn't constitute double jeopardy. No, a civil trial does not preclude a follow-up criminal trial, and a hung jury just means that it's basically a push, and they get to try it again if the prosecutors decide to. So let's see. The other story, the Senate Judiciary Committee sets the Kavanaugh vote for Friday.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Senate Judiciary Committee has scheduled its vote on Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court for Friday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The move would place the panel's decision just a day after it is set to hear testimony from Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford, a woman who has accused him of sexual assault during a party in their high school years. Excuse me. In a statement, Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley's spokesman, Taylor Foy, said committee rules normally require such votes to be posted 3 days in advance. Quote, an executive business meeting is being noticed tonight in the event... What? Let me try that again. An executive business meeting is being noticed tonight in the event that a majority of the members are prepared to hold one on Friday, Foy said. Being noticed. That's like noticed isn't like a verb?
Noticed, yeah.
Okay.
Giving notice. Yeah.
Okay, giving notice. Because I was like, it's being noticed. Like, well, I noticed there's a glass on the other table. So there. Grassley tweeted in characteristic style following the initial announcement to stress the possibility that the committee's vote could be further delayed, while reiterating the move could allow for a Friday vote if so desired. Let's see. California Senator Dianne Feinstein, the committee's top Democrat, issued a statement saying it was clear that, quote, Republicans don't want this to be a fair process, unquote.
Wait.
For Republicans to schedule a Friday vote on Brett Kavanaugh today, 2 days before Dr. Blasey Ford has a chance to tell her story, is outrageous, she said.
Why?
I don't know.
Are we going to ignore the fact that you had fucking plenty of time up until then, but you waited specifically until this date to finally do something about it, and it's their fault? I don't
Real
get
quick,
that.
guys. Hi, Kingslayer. It's nice to see you. All the delays here are your fault, Diane.
Yeah. They've been waiting on you this whole time, and they finally got impatient and said, fuck it, we're setting it. It's about to be done. And she's like, oh, how dare you?
Well, she's the reason that we didn't find out about it for a while. She refused to help get she didn't deny doing this. So Grassley came out and said she refused to help them get interviews set up with this woman. What the fuck is she talking about?
And as far as it being a not fair process, I don't know how much more fair it could be than like, I want to speak. Okay, come and speak. I need more time to decide if I'm going to speak. Okay, we'll give you more time. I need even more time. Okay, we'll give you more time. I want these things done. No. Okay. It's like, and now Monkey's got information on even more demands coming from the Ford side of things on how the hearing will be broadcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry I already closed the story, but it's being reported that she only wanted 3 pool reporters, 3 photographers, 3 robotic cameras controlled by C-SPAN, and 1 unnamed reporter agency. They weren't sure which one. And Grassley told her to go fuck herself because this is a public meeting.
Yeah, and she doesn't, they're giving her the opportunity to speak. She doesn't get to set the terms of who can and cannot see it. It's a public hearing. We're all paying for it as taxpayers, so she can just do what she said she wanted to do.
So much of this is so weird coming from her side of things. Like her lawyer's setting all these demands. It's like, sweetie, that's not how this works.
Well, I suppose if you don't ask, you don't know.
How about contact somebody who's had any relation with the Senate and testifying before? Would that be too much to ask rather than making retarded demands like the defense should go first?
Yeah.
Mr. Kavanaugh, do you deny these charges? She hasn't made them yet.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
I was saying earlier.
What charges are you referring to?
I was saying earlier, I'm surprised she didn't say, and I only want green M&Ms in my bowl.
Right. Yeah. I mean, fuck you. That's not how this works. Look, you're lucky anybody's paying attention to your nonsense anyway. Because at this point, I mean, your credibility's razor thin. You better have a great showing tomorrow or Thursday.
All right. Well, speaking of great showings, our president went to the UN today.
I heard that.
Trump didn't expect UN speech reaction he got. President Donald Trump stepped up to the iconic dais at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday and began his speech much as he would a campaign rally by boasting that his administration, quote, has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country.
Oh, didn't they start laughing at him?
Yeah, exactly. Many of the assembled world leaders and foreign dignitaries responded with laughter. Quote, I didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay, he said, laughing off the chuckles that rippled through the hall. Trump's second ever address to the international body served to reaffirm to a domestic political audience, just as much as to the world, Trump's continued commitment to the policies and convictions that he has unleashed on the world, in the years since he last addressed the UN. The president defended his hardline position on Iran and his trade war with China, touted his diplomatic engagement with North Korea, and reaffirmed his rejection of globalism and the prominence of international institutions. And thank you, Sanguine. I feel like her head is exploding because she is a female victim, but still being told no. Well, she's not getting everything she wants. She wanted a platform to speak. They rolled out the carpet for her and then kept, moving the goalposts as to what it was going to be. And they're like, these are the matters of government and the nation. This isn't some kind of like social call.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, I don't know. I think as the hours tick by, the thing is about as set in stone as you're going to get, short of her pulling out at the last second, which at this point I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. The speech showed that while Trump has accelerated the execution of world-rattling policies, his worldview remains consistent with the America First doctrine he first took to the world stage last year, proclaiming the world is best served if countries focus on their own self-interests and reject global governance mechanisms. Quote, "We are standing up for America and for the American people, and we are also standing up for the world. This is great news for our citizens and for peace-loving people everywhere," Trump said. "We will never surrender America's sovereignty to an unelected, unaccountable global bureaucracy. America is governed by Americans. We reject the ideology of globalism, and we embrace the doctrine of patriotism." Yeah.
You know what? Why is it okay? Because as far as I know, like I don't know the politics of like other places all that well, but most other places put their country first. Period. Right? Like, isn't that like a common thing?
Yes.
Unless you're in the EU.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of
the
course.
EU comes first.
Yeah, the EU takes precedence over everything else, and I think that's kind of what he was alluding to a little bit. Like he's going to defer to either the UN, technically, in a way, he was saying, but also to bodies like the EU, and I guess almost by implication, maybe NATO. It's hard to tell.
I think much of his comment there was also about the WTO, which is part of.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is also true.
World Trade Organization, because they've been talking smack too.
Let's see. It remained equally clear that Trump's message is still not widely embraced by other countries. In contrast to past U.S. presidents, his speech was not one interrupted by applause. Well,
he didn't go there to make them applaud him. I mean, he may have thought they would.
Yeah,
it would be great to see his speech notes and see hold for applause.
Right? Yeah, hold for applause.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like
he wasn't representing us,
right? And he wasn't going there saying like, I'm gonna keep kissing your asses like we've been doing. Like, no, we're about to start looking out for us. And I'm pretty sure all the people who've been taking advantage of us is like, oh, that sucks.
Let's see. Beyond the international framework, Trump trained his fire on Tuesday on a handful of countries, most prominently China and Iran. He touted his decision to withdraw from the horrible, quote unquote, Iranian nuclear deal and urged other countries to join the U.S. in ratcheting up economic pressure on Iran. Quote, "Iran's leaders sowed chaos, death, and destruction. They do not respect their neighbors' borders or the sovereign rights of nations," Trump said, before slamming Iranian leaders of plundering, quote, "the nation's resources to enrich themselves and to spread mayhem across the Middle East and far beyond," unquote. And even as he proclaimed his, quote, "great respect and affection," unquote, for Chinese President Xi Jinping, he singled out China as he leveled a broadside against, quote, "broken and bad trade deals," unquote, and a world trading system he called, quote, "in dire need of change." Quote, "We will no longer tolerate such abuse," he said, as he called out Chinese trade abuses and theft of U.S. intellectual property. Quote, "We will not allow our workers to be victimized, our companies to be cheated," unquote. An undercurrent of global unease has only grown in recent weeks as Trump slapped tariffs on another $200 billion in Chinese imports, which promises to punch up if China retaliates, threatening to roil the global economy. And Trump's speech served only to reaffirm his ramrod posture. So there you go. He went to the UN, yeah, like Satsu said, not to kiss everybody's butts, but just to tell them how it is going.
I am very appreciative of the fact that it seems like somebody is care, because like as far as politics has been going over the past maybe 5 years or so, it seemed like whatever interest our country had was last. Like it was always after everybody else, and I don't dislike the idea that, you know, be looking out for us first, even if that might be, you know. The fact that he's going out and like saying it to their faces and shit, you know, even if it might be a bluff or whatever, it's still good to know.
I would rather with somebody else saying it a bit more articulately, and that
of course,
and that they weren't a game show host. But yeah, in general terms, I don't have a problem with the sentiment. Although how the execution is going to go, I'm still not quite sure.
I would like for even because obviously Trump has is not the best president in the world. But if he lays down the groundwork for us to stop getting fucked by other countries, and whatever president comes in next continues that, like, even if they're just like, oh, Trump was so horrible, he did horrible things, but we're gonna hold on to not being fucked in the ass. Like, we actually kind of like that. Then I'll be okay.
What's going to be interesting is whenever Trump stops being president, let's say a Democrat comes in and reverses a bunch of his economic policies, and then the economy goes in the toilet as the result. It'll make Trump look like a genius. Thank you, Sanguine. Gasp. Almost like he is a patriotic nationalist. I know, right? Like it's almost like he's doing basically exactly what he said he would do on the campaign trail. So, it's a rare event, I suppose. Let's see. The next story was requested by Monkey for me to include.
I love this story.
And Monkey will have some supplemental material to read shortly. But Michael Avenatti, for those of you that don't know, that's Stormy Daniels' former lawyer, or still lawyer, I don't know. Avenatti, quote, "I wasn't scammed," unquote. Michael Avenatti on Tuesday lashed out at reports that a client who was preparing to level allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh was a fake and part of a ruse by an outside group targeting Avenatti. We'll get to that momentarily. Quote, "I made the determination she was 100% credible well before Sunday night," unquote. Avenatti, the attorney who also represents the adult film actress Stormy Daniels in her lawsuit against President Donald Trump, told Politico, referring to the first time he disclosed the allegations involving Kavanaugh. That was all one sentence. Yeah. Quote, "We've received over 3,000 inquiries in the last 6 months from people with all kinds of crazy stories and fabrications. I've heard it all. I've seen it all. Like we don't vet clients. Give me a break," unquote. Kavanaugh is in a pitched battle to salvage his nomination. Maybe. After 2 women have come forward to allege sexual misconduct decades ago. One of his accusers, Christine Blasey Ford, is set to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Thursday about her allegation that a drunken Kavanaugh assaulted her at a house party when they were both in high school. An online post on Tuesday claimed that Avenatti had been scammed by the online forum 4chan, a place where online users delight in trolling public figures, setting off a firestorm on social media and purportedly jamming up Avenatti's Twitter account. The attorney said he temporarily shut down the account because of online threats. Quote, "This is just crazy that somebody can just tweet something out like this or post it and people just take it as truth," he said. "It's crazy. Yeah, almost like an allegation without evidence or something."
Like you did just on Sunday, you dick.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Let me check with my lawyer. Yes, it was Ranting Monkey.
If only. I wish I could claim credit for this.
Yeah. So, Monkey, tell us about the purported 4chan source.
Well, let me actually read you what was posted on 4chan.
When was this posted again?
This was posted this morning at 10:54. I'm not sure if that's or what time zone that is.
Okay.
It says, "Gather in, fags. It's story time. Have a stripper girlfriend give him a call on burner phone," talking about Avenatti. She tells him she's a 51-year-old alumni of the private Holden Arms School, and that Brett Kavanaugh and his buddy Mark Judge ran a train on her. Tells him she knows all the secret codes. Find them, feel them, French them, fuck them, and forget them. Devil's Triangle's a 3-way fuck with a cock in all of her orifices. Jesus. He eats it the fuck up. She has him call my burner cell phone. I'm a classmate of Judge Kavanaugh to confirm. In my creepiest deep throat voice, I confirm it all. Can hear Avenatti's wheels spinning. He thinks he's broken the story of the year. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Calls girlfriend 10 times. Wants her to tell her story on Anderson Cooper 360. She cries that she cannot be around men. He begs her to do a special one-on-one with Poppy Harlow. No idea who she is.
I know that name.
Yeah, that name sounds extremely familiar. We just heard about Poppy Harlow, didn't we?
I don't know. She would, but her car broke down and the rent is due and she cannot miss work. He offers her $20K. Cries she cannot. She'll lose her job. $20K isn't enough. He ups it to $75K and much more after the GoFundMe scam. She'll be a national hero. She agrees. Claims the money will be ready to be wired in 2 hours right after she signs CNN exclusive. She agrees. The phone doesn't stop ringing. She tells me she's bored and scared and wants to stop. Okay, we've had enough fun with this jack off. We break our burner phones. Avenatti disables his Twitter. Now, the funny part about this is, this tells us, he disabled his Twitter here. But he claims it was in response to
threats.
Anger and threats.
Yeah.
I hope this is true. I really do, because it's funny, and that dude's a douchebag. But yeah, might be another great 4chan scam, y'all.
Well, I think Avenatti is a shoe-in for 2020.
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah, I think with this kind of excellent thinking, it can only lead him to the White House.
If this is true, his 2020 hopes are gone.
Which will make it even more entertaining if he actually attempts it.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. Well, my last story isn't really a story so much, because this comes from our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Cillizza.
Yay.
What does Chris have for us today? Lindsey Graham's depressing and disappointing admission about Thursday's Brett Kavanaugh hearing.
There's no... Okay, go ahead, Chris.
I have no idea what Lindsey Graham said, so this will be interesting. Okay, and this is Chris speaking. So, Lindsey Graham is, to my mind, one of the 5 best senators in the world's greatest deliberative body. Oh, which one's that? You're not talking about our government, are you? Agree or disagree with the South Carolina Republican, but he is transparent about his views, open to listening to views Let me try this again. This is my trying to read this. Agree or disagree with the South Carolina Republican, but he is transparent about his views, open to listening to views other than his, optimistic about what politics can and should do, and self-aware enough. Self-aware has a hyphen, Chris, just self-aware enough to be able to laugh at himself, which is why what Graham said about the coming Senate Judiciary Committee hearing featuring Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford, the woman who alleges Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when they were both in high school, is so disappointing. All right, so here's the quote. Quote, "What am I supposed to do? Go ahead and ruin this guy's life based on an accusation? I'm just being honest. Unless there's something more, no, I'm not going to ruin Judge Kavanaugh's life over this. But she should come forward. She should have her say. She will be respectfully treated," unquote.
That's disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now before we get into Chris's rationale for why that's disappointing, what do we suspect? Let's speculate. Let's do a Chris Cillizza for a second. Why is this disappointing from the perspective of Chris Cillizza?
Because it shows he has already made up his mind and he's not believing the women's. Okay,
Satsu?
Yeah, I was going to kind of go along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be something to the effect of it's inherently dismissive of the gravity of the accusation.
Yeah, it's a woman, and you're supposed to believe them regardless, and that spells bad news for your character.
Okay, so here's Chris's analysis. Just in case you wondered whether Graham might have misspoken, he emphasized that his mind was largely made up again. Quote, "I will listen, but I'm not going to play a game here and tell you this will wipe out his entire life," Graham noted, "because if nothing changes, it won't with me," unquote. Yeah. An accusation requires evidence, Chris. Otherwise, it's just words. Do you not understand this? Okay. Here's what Graham, one of the 11 Republican senators on the Judiciary Committee, is saying in both of those quotes. Oh, here we go. Here comes the analysis. Here comes the analysis. This is what Graham is really saying. If it wasn't plain enough and transparent enough, here it is. "My mind is made up, period. I'll listen to Ford tell her alleged sexual assault, but unless she says something new about her experience with Kavanaugh, it's not going to change my mind." Thank you, Chris. I couldn't, I'm glad Chris is here to, take the scales from my eyes and clarify Lindsey Graham's complicated and nuanced statement.
But that was that was literally what he said.
Yeah, no, Satsu, that's not what Graham was saying. Chris has it right. Chris is the unfiltered version of reality here. I mean, you know what Chris's middle name is? Clarification.
Oh,
Yeah. Chris Clarification Saliza. He's the triple CEO. Okay. Just so you know. Okay. That is literally the opposite of what we would want out of a senator sitting on the Judiciary Committee in a moment like this. No, what? Someone on the Judiciary Committee is demanding evidence to corroborate an allegation. Chris, come on, Chris.
he's not listening and believing like he's supposed to.
Oh, Chris, do you understand what the judicial process involves?
He said that is literally the opposite. We literally do not want people on the Judiciary Committee to get sufficient evidence first. We don't. That is the opposite of what we want. Wow.
Okay. All right. Of course, Graham has his views, including a desire to help confirm the court pick of the president of his party. And yes, there's no question that he is entitled to believe that Brett Kavanaugh, based on his study of the judge's life and the conversations between the two men, is not the sort of man who would do what Ford is alleging. But if the very people who hold in their hands and votes the power to make or break Kavanaugh's nomination are admitting publicly that almost nothing Ford says will change their mind, that's not what he said, Chris.
That is absolutely not what he said.
That is not what he said. He said, unless she brings something... Here, let me read it again. Unless there's something more, no, I'm not going to ruin Judge Kavanaugh's life over this. But she should come forward. She should have her say. She will be respectfully treated. Chris, come on.
He literally took he has the statement and repeated it and then completely translated it into something it wasn't.
Okay. Are admitting publicly that almost nothing Ford says will change their mind. Isn't that the sort of rank partisanship that has gotten us into this morass in the first place? No, Chris, no. The partisanship of holding back evidence until it was politically convenient to drop a bomb after all of the testimony had been given. You want to talk about partisanship here?
Cory Booker said he would not vote for Kavanaugh before the original hearing ever happened.
Yeah. Talk about not already making up your mind, and it doesn't matter what they say. I've already made. I mean, you want to talk about people who are sort of like not doing their duty on the Judiciary Committee? Yeah, talk to Cory Booker. Talk to Dianne Feinstein, who withheld evidence. Okay, now it's a good thing that wasn't a court trial or something, because withholding evidence that's up there with perjury, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, frankly, she should be censured for what she did.
She should be. But okay, Chris, tell us more. Imagine if Graham had said this instead. Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go.
You know what? You know what, Chris? I can imagine quite a bit, Han Solo.
I'll believe her no matter what she says.
All right, here's what we should imagine Graham had said. I know Brett Kavanaugh personally, and don't believe the man I know is capable of what is being alleged. That said, I will go into Thursday's hearing with an open mind. I will listen to what Professor Ford has to say, and I will ask questions where I deem it appropriate. Then I will make a decision about what my vote will be. What part of what he said, Chris, does not make that implicit? He said, unless something else is brought forward, which means he's willing to listen. He just said that.
Well, it's the fact that he was saying that he wasn't willing to ruin his life, because he's like, nah, you should be, though. You shouldn't have said that, because if you say that makes us feel bad, and we don't want to hear that. You need to let us know that you're willing to throw away this man's life regardless of what you hear from her, because that's what we want to hear.
All right, going forward. Or even if he had said exactly what Tennessee Senator Bob Corker said to reporters on Tuesday, quote, I'm going to look at this openly minded on Thursday, but again, I go into it with positive feelings towards Kavanaugh, unquote. The point here is this. Here comes the point, guys. This blog is called The Point, so here comes the point. The point here is this. Graham is not someone who has been an inflexible partisan in his time in the Senate. His willingness to speak out against his party and its leaders has repeatedly endangered him politically back home in South Carolina. But his comments about Kavanaugh are a break from that reputation. Okay, to assume that nothing you hear, especially when it comes to testimony from a woman speaking about an alleged sexual assault, could possibly change your mind is the opposite of the person Graham. That's not what he
said.
Okay, one more. So let me finish the sentence. Just, it's almost done. Could possibly change your mind is the opposite of the person Graham has largely been in the Senate, which is surprising and disappointing. Okay, go.
All he said is if there's nothing new that comes out, he's backing Kavanaugh. He's not going to ruin his life, was his exact words.
Yeah,
that's not even I'm going to vote for him. It's I'm not going to ruin his life.
Yeah, at no point throughout that at all did he say there is nothing she can say to me that will change my mind. Like, where is that coming from? He gave us the quote.
That's coming from Chris Cillizza projecting.
He gave us the exact quote.
Yeah. And we read it and we listened to it, and it's about as plain and transparent as
and he fucking wrote it and supposedly edited it and looked over it again, but he was just like, yep.
You want to talk about partisanship, Chris? How about taking something as plain as that, putting it through your own mental process and coming out with he is in an intractable position that he will not budge at all. Partisanship? Come on. Hold on real quick. Thank you, Sanguine. Scribe, it is Chris. Of course he doesn't know shit about anything. He opens his gob to let loose the flow of gormless putrescence he calls speech. Gormless putrescence. Damn, Sanguine. Somebody's got a thesaurus tonight.
No, Sanguine knows those words. I guarantee he uses them in everyday life.
And you know what I want to say about this? Given what we saw the other day with that other blog that Chris did, where it was reasonable and rational and not outside the bounds of sanity, this blog is both surprising and disappointing to me. Because it is possible, as we've seen, for Chris Cillizza to actually put a relatively objective eye onto things and put out something that is at least thoughtful and not taking sides per se. But this, for fuck's sake.
It blows my mind because he specifically said that. He said, unless she brings, which the word unless alone, the fact that he wrote that word and it is in the article at all, immediately debunks the fact that he is claiming that no matter what, he won't listen to anything she said.
Yeah, he is allowing for the possibility that something may change his mind, Chris.
Yeah.
And if he allows for the possibility that something may change his mind, at least, now, we can't read Lindsey Graham's mind. We don't know his heart. Maybe he has made up his mind and nothing she will say will change his mind, even if she, brings out evidence or something. But based solely on what we do know, his statement, you don't have a leg to stand on. That's not what he said, Chris. That's not what he said. Anyway, we've already gone over time. So unless you guys got something else, I'm going to move on to the MSS Schnuz.
I will just say, unless she brings something amazing on Thursday, I'm sticking with bitches lying. And Chris, you can quote me on that, dickhole.
All right. Well, then. Everyone, if you have news stories you'd like us to try to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but I will get through as many as is possible, given our format and my OCD about that. Let's see. First, we have from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Six Flags St. Louis celebrates Fright Fest with 30-hour coffin challenge. 30-hour coffin challenge. Six Flags in St. Louis, Missouri is challenging 6 contestants to spend 30 hours inside a coffin for a chance to win $300 during the park's annual spooktacular Halloween event. So $10 an hour to lay in a coffin.
You read that correct. $300.
$300.
Oh, fuck yourself.
If it was $3,000, you might have my attention, but $300, I might as well go work at McDonald's. Participants of the Ghoulish contest just sleep. Anyway, to celebrate the 30th year of Fright Fest, will bide their time inside 2 by 7 foot coffins at the park from 1 p.m. October 13th to 7 p.m. October 14th. Are they closed the whole time? Like, or do they just lay there? Coffin dwellers will be allowed to bring a friend during Fright Fest operating hours. Quote, but they must brave the non-operating hours alone, according to the contest's rules. Contestants will also get brief hourly bathroom breaks and in-coffin meals. if I had nothing to do
Yeah.
on that weekend or something, sure, get $300. I mean, a chance to win. So what? Like if you make it, you get your name in a hat or something.
I don't know, but the fact that they're bringing you food during the opening hours, you can have somebody to keep you company.
Yeah.
And provided I get to bring my phone and several portable chargers.
Exactly.
All right.
Those who complete the Macabre Challenge will win 2019 Gold Season Passes. All right, well that's better than just $300. A Fright Fest package including 2 VIP haunted house passes and a ticket for 2 to ride the Freak Train for Freaks Unleashed. I assume that's a ride. If more than one person makes it to 30 hours, a drawing app will determine who gets the $300. One more perk.
So wait.
Hold on.
You could make it the whole way and not get it?
Hold on. One more perk. Successful coffin dwellers get to keep their casket.
No.
Is it an actual casket or some cheap prop kind of thing? If it was an actual casket, I'd be like, well, shit, I got something covered for, my relative's funeral already or something. I mean, a little morbid, but it's true. Anyway. Okay, $300, season passes, and maybe a coffin.
Are they going to ride that freak train on Kavanaugh's accusers?
Oh my God. Monkey.
Let's see. The original Shroom sent us the Avenatti fake out story. Thank you. This one comes from Emperor W.R. Costin. Wait, is this a relative of Colleen's? Maxime Bernier is furious after being interviewed by the CBC, and he may have a point. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, CBC is the Canadian Broadcasting Company. So I assume this is a Canada story, which means that we might be talking about people who none of us know. But let's see. After a CBC interview aired Sunday, Maxime Bernier's Twitter account launched into an angry rant accusing host Wendy Measley of a smear job. The tweets linked to the video arguing that Mesley fabricated a story, quote, about a libertarian conspiracy funded by U.S. billionaires and implies with her repeated questions about it that I violate Canadian electoral laws. Okay. I don't even know who Maxime Bernier is. I assume he's some big politician or something. Oh, wait. People's Party of Canada founder and former Conservative cabinet member Maxime Bernier. Okay, thank you, Eric. Monkey, you should do it. You've already have 1 foot down the stairs. I mean, in the grave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't like little places.
I hate to say it. I couldn't care less about Canadian politics. And I don't have any reference for this. If this was something like, what was it? Article 16 or whatever the thing was that they were trying to promote. 13. 13, yeah. It was like Article 13 or maybe something that Justin Trudeau did in relation to American whatever. But
I have been watching the Faith Goldie Toronto mayor run.
Oh, yeah, with is it the Ford brother or whatever?
No, Faith Goldie's she's trying to run for mayor.
Oh, okay.
And she did I say I don't remember. Anyway, Faith is running for mayor, and last I heard they won't let her in the debates even though she's met the threshold, and it's all a conspiracy against her, which is just funny. So that's as much as I care about Canadian politics. Sorry, guys. No offense, Canadians.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a story about Don Cherry, that's funny, maybe, but otherwise. Let's see, this one comes from Frosted Glass. Oh, and this is from the Mary Sue. Oh, boy. Why the MCU needs to deal with its whitewashing problem.
What whitewashing problem?
And the picture they're showing on this article is of the Age of Ultron, Wanda and Pietro Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I hate to tell you this, Wanda and Pietro are white in the comic books and otherwise, unless they're not going to talk about something else. Like any true antagonist, Marvel has been busy giving us fan theory-fueled nightmares while simultaneously infiltrating every waking second of our lives. Well, speak for yourself. Now that Avengers 4 reshoots are well underway and Thor and Valkyrie spent a suspiciously short amount of time on set, you'd think that we'd be busy preemptively mourning our favorite heroes, or they're just doing a pickup scene where they talk. Okay, but our attention has been momentarily deviated by the upcoming Disney streaming service. Thanks, Marvel, for consuming our lives and wallets. Only if you choose to. With the Disney service set to launch in 2019, Variety predicts that characters in MCU could bleed into Disney's new developments, with Loki and the Scarlet Witch allegedly being a couple of the front runners for our impending monthly expenditure. If you choose.
Where's the whitewashing come in?
I don't know. As Variety notes, the characters' potential series will likely star their movie counterparts, Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen, respectively, which would be very interesting to me. While these reports help resurrect any latent hope... What? While these reports help resurrect any latent hope we had left about the future of our favorite characters, well, Scarlet Witch could be a cool character if they gave her more to do. Loki's already... I'm surprised they give Loki his own movie at this point, whatever. It also reminds us that whitewashing is unfortunately still alive and well in the superhero fandom. Okay, tell me more. We're looking at you, MCU Wanda, as well as Peter Maximoff, Pietro, thank you, in the current X-Men movie timeline, soon to be under Marvel's wing, and Pietro Maximoff in Avengers Age of Ultron. Okay, granted the Maximoff-Lenzer family trees are a bit convoluted in the comics, as well as on screen. We're okay. But regardless of their consistently retconned family tree, the Maximoff twins are still Romani in the comics. Are you going to tell me that you have to have actual Romanian actors playing these people?
Okay. Fuck me.
Now we go into a long litany of comic book hereditary trees, which have been, as they say, rewritten 12 times. So, okay.
They're not gypsy enough, is what she's trying to say.
I'm trying to. Okay, literally, most of this is covering comic book. Okay. Continuing Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal of the Scarlet Witch in her own television series on the Marvel. God damn it! Let me try that again. Continuing Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal of the Scarlet Witch in her own television series on the Disney streaming service would continue the dismissiveness towards the discrimination that Romani people still face today. Casting an actual Roma woman to play the canonically Roma character in her potential series and not ignoring that history could help avoid any latent prejudice about Romani people. She's not Romani in the movies. She's Sokovian. Does that help? Does that help you to know that these are two different timelines? These are two different realities we're talking about here. Hell, they've even given it its own number designation in the grand pantheon of Marvel different universes. For fuck's sake, get a life. Okay, I'm done. Thank you, Chris Shabesta. Claims of whitewashing superheroes in the MCU? Bitch, where? I don't know. I mean, every time I've seen those characters in the comic books, they look awfully pale to me, but what do I know? Moving on. Okay, we talked about Trump's speech.
You just weren't paying attention to the Romani colors they were using.
Well, then they really need to cast Dr. Doom as Romani because his mother was a gypsy sorceress.
Yeah.
So, whenever Dr. Doom shows up again, and God hope he does in the Marvel universe.
It would please me greatly if the response to this shit from a lot of these big companies was simply and just plainly written, shut the fuck up.
Well, no, that's not going to happen. Marvel's going to ignore it because they have their Scarlet Witch. And if they're going to have a separate TV series starring the actual actress from the movies, that is a selling point for the new Marvel streaming service. Now, not necessarily something that's going to make me want to pay for it, but they're not going to change. They're not going to change horses mid-race, let's say.
But think of how much better the show would be with an actual Romani actress.
She's not Romani. She's Sokovian. They made up a new country for the thing to kind of keep it all generalized and not have to touch upon that shit. That's how they get past all the convoluted stuff from the comic books. They make up a new country, they give them a new origin story, and they move on, guys.
Is the guy who plays Thor actually from Asgard? Because if not, I feel like that's a whitewashing problem.
Well, he's not Norwegian.
No, but he's not from Norwegia.
Thank you, Sanguine. All I can say is Idris Elba plays Heimdall. Yeah, exactly. And the Warriors 3, I seem to remember that one of them was Asian, even though in the comic books they're all Norse or Asgardian or whatever. And who gives a shit? It doesn't
Thor
matter.
is literally a god from another world.
Yes. The Scarlet Witch is in the comic book, she's a mutant. In the MCU, since they weren't allowed to use mutants, since Fox owned all that, the Scarlet Witch iteration in the MCU, so far as we know, is actually a product of the Soul Gem being experimented on. Somehow that gave her powers. So anyway, moving on. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Oh, Darwin Award territory. California woman hiking in Michigan falls to death while taking a selfie.
Oh, God.
A California woman visiting the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan fell to her death this week while said to be taking a selfie, according to National Park Service officials. The woman, who has been ID'd as Tu Than Nguyen, or Win, 32, of Sunnyvale, California, was hiking alone on Wednesday, roughly a half-mile away from Parks. How about the Parks, maybe? From the Parks Grand Portal Point, she stopped to take a selfie. She then fell 200 feet off a cliff and landed in Lake Superior below. Two kayakers who reportedly saw the woman fall retrieved her body and brought it to the Chapel Beach shore. Nguyen's death was ruled an accident following an investigation by the National Park Service. Yeah. Watch your footing.
Stop taking selfies where you're going to die, people.
Jim Gila says they have already started to retcon Scarlet Witch in the MCU to be a mutant. Yeah, see, I knew when Age of Ultron came out and they kept those two's origins relatively vague as to how they got their powers. Like the Soul Stone was used in experiments by Hydra on them and that kind of thing, but they didn't really get too specific. I knew they were leaving open the possibility that at some point they could sort of bring them into the mutant pantheon. I'm still kind of curious as to how they're going to bring mutants into the MCU. I'm curious if they're not going to use the fixing of the universe in Avengers 4 to herald in a new
Here's my guess.
Epidemic of mutants.
Tony Stark is going to see him on YouTube. And he's going to go to their house and go, I know you guys are mutants. Come be superheroes with us.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I think something about the fallout from Infinity War Part 2 will open the door to that plot hook being pulled into the universe. So, moving on. This one comes from Ayana, if I'm saying that correctly. And I don't have much to talk about for YouTube time today, so I'm going to go a little longer on stories. Feminist pours bleach on over 60 men's crotches to fight manspreading.
You have a super chat you should get real quick.
Yeah, thank you, Ex-Bubba Hotep. Mind Stone, just so chat stops yelling at you. Oh, sorry, the Mind Stone, not the Soul Stone. I apologize, you're right. Mind Stone, not the Soul Stone. The Soul Stone was the one that Thanos had to sacrifice Gamora for. Spoiler alert. So she poured a caustic and possibly burning liquid onto men's crotches.
Yes, she's Russian. In Russia, that's how they deal with spreading.
Yeah, I hope somebody charged her with assault.
Well, read the story. You'll see.
Yeah. Feminist activist and Russian law student Anna Dovgalyuk has taken to pouring a bleach and water mixture on the crotches of unsuspecting men on the St. Petersburg metro for their anti-feminist sin of manspreading. How this fights the patriarchy exactly remains unclear. In a video manifesto, Dovgalyuk dumps the mixture contained in a water bottle onto over 60 men's crotches. Most are too stunned to react, but others attempt to confront her for her abhorrent actions. Quote, this solution is 30 times more concentrated than the mixture used by housewives while doing the laundry, she claims in the video. It eats colors in the fabric in a matter of minutes, leaving indelible stains. Manspreading is a, quote, disgusting act that is being fought around the world, but hushed up here, she adds. This is my new video manifesto dedicated to the problem of manspreading. The disgusting act that is being fought with around the world, and it is hushed up in us. Men demonstrating their alpha manhood in the subway with women and children around deserve contempt. If you publicly show what kind of macho you are, we will publicly cool you off. Yeah.
Is that the end of that story?
That's there's a couple more sentences that reiterate it, but yeah, that's the gist.
Hey, it's been reported that somebody representing her says that this is all fake, and she insists it's all true.
Just a prank, bro.
Yeah. You have two super chats there.
I have 2 super chats. Oh, there is. Thank you, Sanguine. Don't forget, Monkey. I made you all suits because Tony is the Avenger fashion expert.
Yep.
And thank you, Eric. Guess she was a basic bitch.
Is a basic bitch. Yeah. If a woman does this, I would not be opposed to assaulting her back because that is assault, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll help with equality to get me to punch the shit out of you.
Let's see.
I don't know about punch, but a nice bitch slap wouldn't be bad.
Both the Reaper and Massive Dynamics also sent us that story. I'm going to break my own little rule here briefly because this might be pertinent to Monkey's interests in a way, but this also comes from Massive Dynamics. Hold on, it'll load up here. Spinal implant helps paralyzed man walk again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you? Okay. It is not a cure. The man still has no sensation in his legs, but experts are hopeful that more people could benefit. A man paralyzed in a snowmobile accident has been able to stand and walk with help of a device with help after a device was implanted near his damaged spinal cord. Jared Chinnock, paralyzed from the waist down 5 years ago, has become the first person to receive the electrical stimulation device. It's not a cure. He can only walk with assistance and has not regained sensation in his legs. But during one session, the 29-year-old walked far enough to cover the length of a football pitch. The device sends electricity into the spinal cord and enables neurons to receive the signal being given by Mr. Chinnock's brain to stand or move his legs. Okay. It was implanted in the epidural space, the outermost part of the spinal canal, below the injured area. The electrode connects to a pulse generator device under the skin of the man's abdomen and communicates wirelessly with an external controller. It was implanted after Mr. Chinnock had completed 22 weeks of physical therapy in 2016. That's very interesting.
There's a lot of really promising spinal cord research coming out. Yeah, believe me, I watch all of this. And I appreciate the heads up there.
Let's see.
But before you read the next one, I just want to talk about a tweet that I was recently sent. This Michael Avenatti sent this out on July 30th of this year. 4chan is playing a very dangerous game right now. I could shut it all down in an instant. Seems somebody picked a fight with 4chan and got embarrassed.
Okay, and this one comes from Froggy. This will be the last one. I tweeted out something about this earlier today too, but this is just amazing to me. Oh god damn it! Ad pops up. Florida teacher says she was fired for refusing to give credit to students who didn't turn in work. It sounds weird, but I checked this and it's true. A Florida history teacher says she was fired for refusing to give half credit to students who didn't turn in their assignments. Diane Tirado says her school, along with Florida's Treasure Coast, has a no-zero policy requiring teachers to give students no less than a 50% grade on assignments. Tirado, and I looked this up. I downloaded their handbook. And it says in big red letters, literally big red letters, no zeros, lowest 50%. Tirado tells television station WPTV that she was fired in mid-September when she refused to follow the policy after several students didn't turn in a homework project. No specific cause was given in her termination letter from the principal at Westgate School, since Tirado was still on probation, having been recently hired. The principal deferred comment to the school district. A spokeswoman for St. Lucie Public Schools says there is no district policy prohibiting teachers from giving a grade of 0. Really? You might want to check the handbook for the school at which she was working, because I downloaded it, I took a screenshot, and I posted it where it says, here's the grading policy, big red letters, no zeros allowed.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a... Now, and I call it like the thank you for participating in your education award. You know, congratulations on participating. It's like, yeah, you didn't turn in your assignment, but you still get 50% on it.
You still get at least half of what the kid who worked really hard on it got.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for all the stories. Sorry we didn't get to them all, but the best we could given some of the outrage. We do appreciate your help in making the show even better than it is just with the three of us. Oh, and thank you, Sanguine. How many minorities were failing to progress grade? Failing to progress grade. I don't know. One can only assume. Let's see. And Jim sent me a story about the Scarlet Witch. And okay. Anyway, on to YouTube time. I didn't do anything today. I will hopefully do a follow-up Iron Fist Season 2 live stream tomorrow. I've got one episode left to watch, and then I'll know everything that I need to know. But otherwise, I did nada. Satsu.
Yeah, same deal. I didn't do anything but some behind-the-scenes work. Still trying to bring some stuff together for something I'm going to attempt to do in the meantime until I'm able to move into a better spot. So you guys will find out about that when I'm done.
All right, and Monkey.
Nothing. I did nothing. I'm still looking for. I want to get a video out tomorrow. I'm trying to do it at least weekly, and no story except the Kavanaugh thing has jumped out at me, and I don't really want to make a video about that. I really don't. I might touch on the whole listen and believe aspect of it, but I would need more to really have an angle.
Oh, you should do the Crystalliza thing. Hell, I might do the Crystal thing. Yeah, the blog post. Thank you, Terry Diamond. It's disgusting. True equality would be a minimum of 100%. You're right. Equality of outcomes, yo.
But I will be joining Vivo and SDA on SDA's channel tomorrow for their Two Girls One Stream at, she sent me the time and I don't remember.
I think
7:30?
Something like that.
Which would be interesting because tomorrow's my day to do this stream, so I'll be having to set it up right at the end of theirs.
I thought it was like 4 to 5:30 your time, something like that.
No, that's your time, man. They go off the air right as we come on. Yeah, 7:30 tomorrow.
Okay. Well, what do I know? Are you going to write some fan fiction for them to use on their Wednesday show?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, okay. I haven't written any for this week. I completely spaced on it. So those of you that were, and whatever, one or two of you that were looking forward to the next episode of Dummy and Dick Super Spies, we'll just have to wait till maybe next week if I get inspired. Let's see. Breaking news. Delta's online systems are back up and running after a brief outage. Oh, that's breaking news from CNN. Okay, thanks, CNN. Well, how about internet fuckatry time? Do we have any?
I have some, but very, very little.
I figured you might.
Well, today, me and Satsu, yesterday, for those of you who watched, you saw Flair Fritz gifted us each with a game that we will be playing shortly on our stream, and me and him tested that out today. And then I took a nap again because I can't sleep enough lately. I went from never sleeping to never being awake, which probably not a good sign. Let's see, where was the one? I guess I only have one today. And this concerns Kavanaugh, guys. Sorry. Kavanaugh went on Fox News the other day, and among the other things he told us was that he was a virgin all the way through high school. His wife, Ashley Kavanaugh, was quoted during this interview as saying, "It is very difficult to have these conversations with your children, which we've had to have."
Yeah.
And some nut job bitch on Twitter tweeted this out. It's their choice. He could drop out and not get the new job. Don't think for 1 second the ball isn't completely in their hands. Ashley Kavanaugh chooses to stand in ignorance loyalty, and whiteness with her predator man. They are not victims.
Yeah. No.
She's standing in whiteness with him, y'all.
So she's standing in milk?
I'm guessing. I don't understand what color has to do with this.
Yeah, what standing in whiteness?
Yes. Ignorance, loyalty, and whiteness.
I would really love to know in this context what that is supposed to mean.
White privilege?
I guess.
But Dr. Ford is white too.
Yeah. So is she not standing in whiteness?
I don't know. I don't understand what that means. But to make it about color or race at all is fucking retarded.
I have a kind of related bit of internet fucketry. There was a story out of the Washington Post, or I should say, I guess it was an op-ed out of the Washington Post today about Kavanaugh. And a particular portion of it caught my attention. I suppose it shouldn't sound any more surprising than everything else we've seen today, but I'll read it. It's just a paragraph or so. Let's begin by acknowledging that even if the allegations made against him by Christine Blasey Ford and Deborah Ramirez aren't true, it's pretty clear that as a young man, Brett Kavanaugh was not a saint.
How?
Hold on. He went to a private high school full of entitled rich boys whose leisure activities revolved around heavy drinking and sexual exploits, real or attempted. No one familiar with that suburban DC private school scene in the 1980s is remotely surprised by the descriptions in the book written by Kavanaugh's friend Mark Judge, Wasted, Tales of a Gen X Drunk, or others from people who grew in that milieu who have shared their own stories on social media.
Yeah.
Even if they're not true, not true, he's still steeped in sin because reasons. Anyway, there you go.
No, that's the whole thing. There was somebody, I don't know. I guess I just responded regular because it's not showing up in my tweets. So let me see if I can find the replies. Somebody freaking out because they scheduled the vote for Friday.
Yes.
And it says, this shows it's all a sham.
Right. It's a sham.
No, it really doesn't. What it shows is, okay, we're having the hearing Thursday. You'll have all the evidence by then, so we can vote on Friday.
Yeah.
There's so many people out here that have just decided, no matter what, he's guilty.
How does having the vote on Friday invalidate whatever happens on Thursday?
That's a great question.
If she brings such testimony and or proof that is going to sway people's opinions, it's going to be fresh in their mind, and they'll have no time to reconsider anything else because the vote's the next day. If it's powerful enough to move the minds of people that everyone says is so intractable, then why not have it the next day? Why wouldn't you want to have the vote immediately thereafter?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Especially considering that doesn't give them a lot of time to save face if it is like very damning.
Mm-hmm. I also want to bring up real quick apparently a new motto that the New York Times is pushing on its Twitter account. I've seen this. They're promoting their subscription for like $1. It's like $1 a week or $1 a month or something. I don't know. But they posted this particular line a couple of times. Our facts are your proof.
I've seen that.
I love this. I love it.
They released that the same week they had to apologize for that story about Nikki Haley's curtains.
And I when I saw that again today, I cropped it and I attached it to the apology letter they wrote after the election about their shoddy journalism and how they missed this outcome and how they missed this possibility and how they promoted Hillary Clinton as a shoo-in. I posted about their correction in April, where they conjured up some right-wing conspiracy theory regarding Palestine that turned out to be absolutely nonsense. And then, of course, the curtains story they had to apologize for. Yeah, their facts are your proof. And I'm like, that is a very interesting way to say listen and believe.
Yeah.
But
they're our facts.
Yeah.
What about the facts? Not the facts, our
Our facts are your proof.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other fucketry for the sake of the union, as it were?
No, but that does make me Michael Avenatti. I want to talk about him for just a minute.
You are upset. You need to do a video on it. You really do.
I might. If you go back to the week before he dropped this salacious allegation that he had this new witness, he was all over Twitter arguing about losing the narrative, losing the public opinion, this and that, and how desperately they needed to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
And as I look at things like our facts are your proof, and Avenatti's shit with just dropping salacious details, knowing people are going to eat this shit up without ever actually checking. It just amazes me that people can be that brazen in telling you what they're doing. Look, we are just trying to manipulate you, and people still fall for it. It's like they want to be manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Calling creepy porn guys. Creepy porn. God damn it. Creepy porn lawyer, by the way. And I can't do that because you just heard me try.
Yeah. Monkey can't talk.
There's certain sounds that just don't go together in my mouth.
Well, let's see. Do we have a deep topic?
No.
Satsu?
No. No.
Okay. Well, that was unanimous. Well, then, because I'm lazy like that, shall we go on to advice columns?
Oh, indeed. I love advice.
All right. My favorite source right now for advice columns, just for everyone knows, is Elle magazine, because they keep this relatively fresh. They get new things up every few days. So, Dear Lords of the Night, I'm a 31-year-old woman with a solid career as an investment banker. I'm dating a handsome, loyal, 34-year-old blue-collar musician. He'd do anything to make me happy, but I have a big problem being the breadwinner. I like chivalry, tradition, and the man to be the one with the higher salary. I don't know how much he earns, but it is significantly less than I do. So let's get down to basics. When we go out, who should pay? I don't ask for much. I appreciate the finer things as well as a slice of good pizza. Sincerely, don't want to be a sugar mama.
Okay.
First off, she's a bad feminist, just want to say.
Yeah, okay. She likes the finer things when she goes out to eat. Is that what the end there was telling us?
I appreciate the finer things as well as a good slice of pizza. So
okay, so he could take her to Domino's.
Sure.
Or Little Caesars if he's on a budget, which it sounds like he is. I'm not bragging on Little Caesars. I love Little Caesars, but if you're on a budget, that's where you go. Bitch, you with the wrong man. He's not making money, right? He's a starving artist, basically.
Well, my first question is, he never pay when we go out. Who should pay? Like, I don't know. Is he not paying? You guys have been dating for a while, I assume. I assume you've gone out before. But you like chivalry, tradition. You can be chivalrous and not make the most money. You can be traditional and not make the most money, but you're stuck on the money part.
Yeah, chivalry has nothing to do with money, baby.
Yeah. So he's handsome, loyal, sincere, chivalrous, traditional, but he's not making enough money for your tastes.
She don't want to be a sugar mama. I bet she'd take a sugar daddy because it sounds like she'd like one. This is.
Well, see, this is going to be one of them women who can't find a good person, like somebody who's actually good to them, because their basic requirement of the men that they fuck with requires them to like be that type of go-getter type of asshole who makes a fuck ton of money and who's probably going to hold that shit over your head. So she's going to be very miserable for the rest of her life, pretty much.
Thank you, Sanguine. One word for the gold digger: hypergamy. Yeah. Well.
I want to make a prediction here.
Okay.
In a few months, we're gonna come back to doing advice columns on L, and we're gonna read a story about this woman who. There's one guy who's nice and does all the right things, but he doesn't make much money. And then there's this other guy who makes a lot of money, but punches her in the eye. Which one should she take?
Well, I don't want to be a sugar mama.
Don't want to be that sugar.
Well, here's a question. Was he somehow unable to take care of himself prior to you meeting him? Was he completely like destitute or something? He has a job. Well, you don't even know how much he makes. You say you don't know how, but obviously it's much less than I do. Like, okay, well then, Jesus.
That or he's smart and hiding his money from you, gold digging bitch.
There's that too. You don't need to be a gold digger if you make more than he does because you're an investment banker.
Because the entirety of her argument is he doesn't take her out.
Well, she doesn't even say that he doesn't take her out. She just says when we go out, who should pay. Right. She gives us no information on like how he's currently behaving in that regard.
Well, what I meant there is, I mean, she doesn't talk like you. Is she paying his bills? She doesn't say so, and I imagine she would tell us that. Mm-hmm. Is he able to support himself? Because if so, then you're not being a sugar mama.
That was my question. Like when you met him, he's a blue collar, a 34-year-old blue collar musician. He probably doesn't make that much unless he's got like some contract or doing something else. A blue collar musician.
What? Anyway. Is she dating the boss?
That would be funny. He makes significantly less than I do. Well, if she works for like a hedge fund or something, that could be true. Moving on to the next one. Dear Lords of the Night. Uh-oh. Imagine, okay, I'm gonna say something, then you imagine what the next word's gonna be. Okay.
All right.
I love my husband.
However,
but he's so focused on making money and is so depressed, antisocial, and controlling. We haven't had sex in 5 years.
Jesus.
Okay,
wait. She hasn't had sex in 5 years, but he has.
I am happy-go-lucky and artistic, enjoy people, and have embarked on a self-improvement plan. I've hired a personal trainer and started working out. The trainer is much closer to me than my husband is. We have lunch, talk deeply, laugh, and act silly together.
It is not okay to fuck your trainer.
The upshot is I'm falling in love with him. My husband won't see a counselor, and I'm afraid of divorce, but I'm tired of no sex, no touching, no holding, and no confiding. Can I have an affair?
No.
Sincerely, hot to trot.
No, you stupid bitch. You can have a divorce, and then you can fuck them anytime you want.
Sanguine, thank you. Wife swap these two.
Right.
Yeah. She ain't giving up that money to go be with personal trainer boy.
All right. And though I'm usually loath to add in the actual response, I'm going to do it this time because dear hot to trot. Yes. You are permitted to have an affair. But first you must tell your husband, quote, "Yo, sweetheart, my perpetual appeals for you to touch me are tuckering me out. Therefore, I'm going to enjoy a little nook with my trainer."
That's a good way to get somebody shot.
First off, that's not really... Well, anyway, moving on. You may then proceed with the fling, or your husband might decide to see a physician, find out what is physically, mentally wrong with him, return home with a sack of Viagra, and embark on the exquisite hanging and banging of an intimate marriage. Or he might do something violent. Get a divorce and go bang your trainer, for fuck's sake. Get a job in the meantime.
Sweetie, are you sure you're any good at sex? Maybe you're scratchy down there. Get some lube. When he gets home, suck his dick, see what happens. Okay. Wait, I just want to be sure. We're all agreed that an affair is a no, right? Divorce him first.
Well, the first thing you do is discuss the problem with your husband, sans talking about having an affair.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, before anything else happens, if he's going to a counselor, you have to sit down and say, "Honey, it's been 5 years since we were intimate, and I am not dead. Something needs to change. And you need to give an ultimatum. I don't know what else to tell you, because otherwise, if it's like he doesn't get it or something else is going on, you know him better than anybody else. If you don't understand what the problem is, you need to find out. And if the problem is something that cannot be addressed, if he says he's not attracted to you anymore, if he says he just doesn't feel that way anymore, whatever, then I think you might want to get a divorce. And if you're so chummy with your trainer, maybe he'll be your sugar daddy.
By the way, your trainer won't be able to afford to get you a trainer.
Yeah.
Throw that out there.
Yeah. Because if you start cheating on your husband, why wouldn't your trainer feel like he can't trust you either? It's one of the things. Hi, SDA. SDA's in the chat.
Hey, SDA. See you tomorrow. I just... I hate people. Go ahead.
Okay. This is going to be the last advice column thing for tonight, and then we'll move on to a chat time. But I couldn't help myself given the title of this. Dear Lords of the Night, an attractive 20-year-old girl asked my husband if he would father a child for her. She's the girlfriend of my husband's 51-year-old brother, who is unable to have children. Okay, so the 51-year-old has a 20-year-old girlfriend.
Yes.
And the 20-year-old girlfriend wants a child sired by her boyfriend's brother. Before that, though, thank you, Sanguine. Okay, fuck the response in so many ways, but why is it that wife doesn't want to fuck husband's problem, but if he doesn't want it, still his fault? Oh, well, no, she wants him to be intimate with her, but he's not.
Yeah.
So, again, this is why they need to communicate. And she didn't say anything about, like, giving a reason why or anything, or that she ever talked to him. She says he won't go to counseling. Well, if you won't go to counseling, then you just need to, like, start talking to him and try to get him to talk. The marriage is about communication as much as it is about physical intimacy.
Maybe she's built like Tess Holiday. How fast did he sign that check for the personal trainer?
Okay. She's the girl. Yeah. Okay. So I've always wanted children. My husband has consistently refused, saying he doesn't want the responsibility of raising, caring, and paying for kids. But now he's hit midlife. He's decided he wants progeny. No, it's not his. It's not going to be his responsibility. He's not having the child with her. He would conceivably be helping his brother who's infertile for them to have a child. Unless I'm missing something here. Of course, as I've already entered menopause, I no longer have the option of changing my mind. I told him that if he went ahead with it, I would consider it the worst betrayal a man could make. I begged him not to do it. He and the girlfriend, meanwhile, were sending sexy texts back and forth. Oh, well, that's fucked up. He went, he had sex with the girlfriend twice that he admits to, and sure enough, impregnated her. Now the child, a boy, is 7 months old. He's very cute. What on earth can I do? Anytime I allow myself to think about it, I get upset. Do I leave? Divorce? Just accept it. Sincerely, she has the child I wanted. The whole situation's fucked. Is the short version of that.
Nothing good is going to come of this whole situation.
No. And you should have.
You will not be able to let it go.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to let it go. If whatever conversations took place prior to him doing it didn't stop him from doing it, then he doesn't give a shit, and you need to leave because there's no happiness to be had in the situation any longer.
Yep.
That child, you're going to see at every family gathering, is forever going to remind you of what you're never going to have with your husband, and the fact that apparently against your wishes, he went and fucked this 20-year-old more than once.
It gets worse than this because not only because his brother is only dating this chick. If they break up, your husband is on the hook for 18 years for that kid.
Dude, I was just about to say that. What if his brother was just like, I got you. I don't want that.
Yeah, his brother doesn't even have to leave her. They can go, you know what? He owes child support. It's his kid.
It's like he comes up to him and says, "You remember when you stole my He-Man when I was a kid? Fuck you on out."
Congratulations on being a dad, you prick. Jesus Christ.
your husband didn't just go father this kid as a surrogate if they were exchanging text messages and no. He cheated on you, lady.
Yeah.
And
If it was
you're not
something
going to be able to get over that.
If it was something like, my brother asked me to donate my sperm for artificial insemination.
Okay. That's different.
That would be, now see, that scenario would be different. It would still be awkward as fuck. It would be less awkward than what this happened, how this went down. I'm not quite sure she wouldn't still have the same discomfort in seeing a child that was effectively the product of her husband's, effort. And you still be on the hook for paternity potentially, although going through an artificial insemination process, I think, has contracts which at least give you some insulation from that.
It depends. There have been people who've still got screwed by that.
It really depends, but either way. But that's not what happened. So yeah, she needs to just get out. She's out.
I do think she needs to come to terms with the fact that he thinks, or at least seems to think, he was fathering this basically for his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, he wants to have prodigy. That's not what's going on either, lady.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not like, why does he want? Why he wants progeny now? No, he was helping out his brother, and he got to fuck a 20-year-old.
Real quick, Check Your Logics asked if we talked about Theron Meyer getting suspended on Twitter. I didn't know she did. What'd she get suspended for?
News to me. I don't think I follow Theron Meyer, so. Well, either way, guys, it's a little okay.
You know what I found out today? I am blocked on Twitter by Everyday Feminism.
Oh no!
I don't know what I did.
Were you following them?
No. Petit Coco had responded to one of their tweets, and I'm like, "Well, who is this?" And I click on them. You are blocked by Everyday Feminism. I'm like, I did. Fuck you, bitches.
I'm surprised those guys. I thought they were going out of business.
Oh no, man! They hit up their people for some money. They still have constant fundraisers going to make sure that they can stay in business and pay their 3 left writers.
Oh, support us on Patreon. I wonder if their Patreon lists off how their what their total is. No, they have 144 patrons. It doesn't say what their monthly take is. Either way, guys, it is your time. If you have questions, comments, complaints, conspiracy theories, if you want to publicly post advice questions that we might answer, maybe, by all means, put plenty of question marks after any questions for us, so we know it's for us and not something going on in the chat. Are you guys, you're not streaming tonight, are you?
No, it's our night off.
Yeah, okay. Nice to night off. Let's see. Oh, and just a reminder, and I'm going to be sure to remind Monkey and everybody on Thursday and Friday. I will be gone Friday. I have a family thing I have to do in the evening, so I will be absent on Friday. I'll be hosting the show on Saturday, and I'm going to switch with Monkey, so he'll be hosting the show on Friday. So set your calendars to be on Monkey's channel. Not that you won't be able to get the link on Friday. Let's see. Stargazer says, did anyone watch Sargon on Kumite this morning? I did not.
I didn't realize they were still doing Kumite.
Yeah. Let's see. Blind Press, what are your thoughts on Bill Cosby's defense team trying to say he shouldn't serve jail time because he's losing his sight?
Stupid.
That's not an excuse.
You don't. I remember there was a guy who was in jail, and they said that it was unfair to him because he had asthma. Like, it would be bad for him. There was a comedian that used to tell a joke about it, but it was a real story. And no, jail's bad for you. That's what you broke the law. It doesn't matter what your physical disabilities are. Sorry.
Jean-Pierre Scribe, why aren't the Dems doing something about Keith Ellison? Well, Keith Ellison is effectively in a similar position as Kavanaugh. He's got an allegation against him with very shaky backup proof. His accuser says she has video of the alleged attack, yet she won't release it. She's put out some medical reports that don't corroborate anything. And the other difference is that Keith Ellison has already been elected to his position. He's not up for anything right now. As far as I know, he's not up for re-election, is he?
No, he's running for election right now.
Oh, he's running for election. Okay.
Assistant Attorney General or some shit like that. I forget what he's running for.
Well, yeah, the Democrats aren't going to dwell on it, and the Republicans aren't going to give it any more credence than it is, because that would just embellish the Kavanaugh situation. You know, I mean, the principle here is you don't indict somebody or convict somebody publicly or in the courts, obviously, on just the basis of an allegation. So the Republicans can't nail Ellison for his accuser's allegations because that would be contradictory to what they're asking for Kavanaugh. So Dems don't have an interest in doing it. Republicans don't have an interest in doing it unless or until something more substantive comes forth.
Well, it's also the fact that Ellison is running for a statewide office.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all of the people out there going, what about Ellison? Make up your mind. Because the proof against it, I keep seeing people, she released a medical report. The medical report, this cannot be stressed enough. She went to a doctor way after this supposedly happened and told them it happened.
Yeah, that's it.
That is not, she went in for bruises from him beating her. That's not what happened here. It would be like me going to my doctor now and telling them I could fly, and my doctor writing that down, and me taking that and going, look, I can fly. My doctor said so.
Yeah. Angela Arriaga says, Scribe Light, you always manage to be hosting the show on nights when I'm going out. Well, you know, Angela, happiness is having something to look forward to. So you'll have something to look forward to. Coming back and listening to it afterwards. Let's see. Haper75, Scribe Light, to not use nation, why not fiefdom? Ooh, our fiefdom? The Lords of the Night fiefdom. I think that's too on the nose. I think we need something that's a bit more stream lore friendly. Not quite sure what that would be. Like our, what's it? Hold on. Here, manage a question or two for a second.
Let's see. Can you guys lie about your enjoyment of butts? No, I love butts. I just don't like mine.
I cannot lie.
I don't like mine. Ooh.
Okay. How about a Baal? B-A-L-E, a Baal. The Lords of the Night Baal. You know why I say Baal? Because that is what a group of turtles is called.
Oh my God! Really?
Thank you, Nick's opinion. I miss you guys live. I'm at work when Lords of the Night comes on. I'm at work. They put me by a door, goes out to the plains. I work in a warehouse at LAX. They don't know I'm on my phone. LOL. Be careful. Stay safe. Don't get caught. Glad you're listening, even if you are having planes in your ear. Okay, yeah, maybe Baal's not very, very fun, so maybe not. I was trying to think like a clutch, like a clutch of something or other. You know what a group of crows is called?
A murder.
A murder. I love that. A murder of crows. There's a very interesting movie, and interesting means it wasn't that good, but it was a Cuba Gooding Jr. and with Tom Berenger. It was called A Murder of Crows, and it was about it was a story about a bunch of lawyers that were being picked off in a killing game or something. And so it was a very interesting title for what was going on in the story. Let's see. That's awful, Scribe. What? Baal? Yeah, I know, Baal. Pyrus Creed says, how about the Lords of the Night Plantation? No. Let's see. SDA says, as an OG member, I veto. Fiefdom was better. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just a bit too, like I say, something stream like the Lords of the Night meatloaf or something. I don't know. Random American Scribe, have you heard what a group of cows are called? Har, 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 har. So let's see. Jean-Pierre says, Satsu, what is better, Taco Bell or Moe's?
I've never had Moe's, and hello, SDA. How are you doing, lovely lady?
Taco Bell is life.
Let's see.
Taco Bell is right.
Taco Bell's awesome.
Let's see. Nothing for you here says, when a female with a narrow diameter waist struts in, I get mildly invigorated. Yes. Okay. Sure mix a lot, yo-yo. What's that? Prospero says, and an exaltation of larks. A group of larks is called an exaltation? That's, wow. Okay. Todd Packer says, Lords of the Night indentured servants. I don't know. I don't quite look at our audience as indentured servants. That's not quite how it works. But Stargazer seems to think Todd Packer's idea is the best. Tyler Lalonde says, have you heard about Cody Wilson, the 3D gun guy? He was charged for sex with a 16 or 17-year-old through Sugar Daddy Meats site. I heard about that.
Yeah.
He was let out on bail, I think, after being charged with that. I don't know much more about it than that. Bobby Bob says, Scribe, the Avenatti third accuser story may be a 4chan troll job. Would this be the best troll job that was ever pulled off if true? No, I think Free Bleeding still probably takes the cake on that one so far. But
I don't know, man. I know the best 4chan thing for me has to be the OK sign. Wasn't that 4chan?
I don't.
Yeah, that is them. But
yeah, I guess it maybe was.
I would say this would be the best because it is. This would take down a national figure.
Really? Yeah, you want to give Avenatti that much credit?
Yeah, he is. He is a leader in the resistance. Watch anybody who's major in their politics, and his name has been coming up for months.
Oh well,
They started floating him as a possible presidential candidate. I think it was 2 months ago.
I've never ever taken that guy seriously, so I don't. But maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know. Let's see. Mr. Shadow says, "Lords of the Night Army." No, you got the Angry Joe's got the AJ Army or whatever. So we can't have an army. And the cops are coming for me. Let's see. Prospero says, yes, there's a wonderful book by James Lipton, Inside the Actor's Studio guy, on venereal of groups of animals. Venereal? Okay. Venereal? My vocabulary on how many times venereal or what venereal means other than disease is obviously off.
Damn. What's going on at your house?
Well, I don't know. Like I say, I live relatively close to both a fire station and a highway patrol office, so picking up from time to time.
Faith asks, riding the coattails of a stripping porn star. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, she is the hero of the resistance. Didn't you guys know that? We've talked about it on here. They see her as a, hero. And I don't know why. It's not like she's bringing down the president with her shit.
No, she just went down on the president. That's all.
Yeah. Took his mushroom-headed wiener right in her crotch.
Sanguine says, Lords of the Night Creamery flagship product, tongue butter. Well, see, tongue butter was the name of a product on one of my old ads. I forget exactly what it was, and I wish I had a copy of it. It's in some old strain by now. But that's originally where that came from, the whole tongue butter thing, and then, combined it with Turtle Cave, and there you go. Let's see. Jean-Pierre asks, Ranting Monkey, if Kavanaugh isn't confirmed, would Trump lose in 2020?
It won't have any effect.
Yeah. How are those two things connected?
Yeah. I mean, between now and 2020, so many things will happen or become the latest, scandal du jour that whatever happens with Kavanaugh will fade into the background very quickly. SDA is very set on fiefdom.
It seems like Trump has been president forever.
It really does.
Oh,
it feels much longer than it's been.
Circus Zero says cave dwellers.
Cave dwellers?
Cave for our nation. Cave dwellers.
The Lords of the Night cave dwellers. That actually
that's cave dwellers.
That's pretty fitting.
I don't think it flows off the tongue though.
Butter. Let's see.
SDA really likes that one. She likes that one a lot.
You know what Tailed Feature said I should call specifically my subscribers?
What's that?
Way back when he said I should just call them my scribers.
Scribers.
Yeah, my scribers. And I never, it's never really come up or anything, I don't think I've ever said on any of my videos, except as a joke, subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. So anyway, thank you, James Colley. Since Lords of the Night has the best and well-behaved audience, how about the Lords of the Night minority? You're all in the minority. You're so well-behaved. Yeah. Well, thank you, James. I don't know about that. Maybe we should have like maybe not a vote or something, but some kind of poll to try to scribble knots, says Jordan 250. I don't know. I kind of like scribers. Faith is Abdication says cave butterers. Hello, our loyal cave butterers. Oh God, yeah. Our entire audience is a bunch of ass lickers. That's
Cave butter.
That's what we would be saying,
dude.
Oh.
I'm sorry. If I ever end up unbelievably rich,
yes,
I'm gonna have a resident cave butterer for all my guests to come and visit.
Jesus, on-call cave butterer. Older Mind says the squires of the LOTN. Now, squires is awfully gendered, I'm afraid. So, no, we can't do that. I wouldn't want to gender our audience. Azure Phoenix says, telltale feature that is stupid. No, I like it. Scribers. That was cute. It was early on in my career. He was like, you should call your subscribers scribers. Like, yeah. Disturbing Zen says the LOTN Morlocks. The Morlocks? Like from the Time Machine? Jesus. That's a little harsh. Let's see. BG says, Scribe, how about what after group of monkeys, which is a troop, a barrel, a carload, a cartload, or tribe? Well, why is monkey the center of the universe?
Have you seen me? I'm beautiful.
I knew that was coming. An American Celt says, Scribelight, if you are the Lords of the Night, are we the Knights of the Night? I don't know. I don't know. Knights aren't I'm trying to think of like a group, like some kind of, or like nation describes sort of like a territory or something like that. I know fiefdom is like also territory, but still, knights are. I don't want to start ranking people per se. Let's say that gets
Lords of the Night, illegal immigrants.
There you go.
Did you guys watch Will Smith's Jump today?
I saw that it was streaming live, and I think it ended. I didn't click on. I was like, well, I'm not going to care unless his rope breaks. So it's just like.
I just think it's amazing how many people tuned in to watch a really famous dude jump out of a helicopter.
Hey, Evil Knievel. It happens.
It's cool. I think, yeah, he lived, Jen.
If he was doing it for a movie, like he streamed live a stunt he was filming for a movie, that would make more sense than just sort of doing it to do it, I guess. But I don't know.
I think it's neat that he did it on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, after you saw the Logan Paul fight, why wouldn't you do things on YouTube?
Yeah.
Except it wasn't being paid. Well, I guess YouTube was probably paying for it. So.
Did you see all the people, I think it was yesterday, who suddenly got demonetized on all of their shit because they were using some form of copyrighted material?
Oh, like the British thing hit.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. And a whole bunch of people were pissed off. What the fuck's going on? And we're talking big channels with millions of subscribers.
Oh, they're testing out their algorithm, is obviously probably.
Yeah, they hit a bunch of people yesterday.
I got it.
What?
The Lords of the Night Misogynoirs.
Misogynoir. I did a video on that. Misogynoir. Let's see. Sanguine says the Court of the Night. Ooh.
That's not bad.
Lords of the Night and our Court of the Night, because the Lords hold court. Ooh, I kind of like that. Our courtesans and courtiers. Okay, that's up there.
Jean-Pierre asked me if I'm going to get my back better.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no.
One could hope. Let's see. Prospero says, my mistake, a venery or a venery tagged you for the book. Okay, thank you. Devil Fruit Zero says, Scribelight, the Order of Scribes Moonbase. Ooh. You know, if it wasn't already taken by Marvel, I'd call my my followers Moon Knights or something. That's already kind of taken. So yeah, the Lunar Order. Why would that be lunar? Not for the show, but for maybe. Okay. Now I'm getting all self-centered. I kind of like the court. SDA doesn't like it. Well, can't please all the people all the time. Maybe we'll do a poll or something soon. Let's see. The Moon Whites. MOON. That spells moon.
Somebody said, John Pierre says, 2 cents plus, what happened to Ghazi? Hopefully, all the white people that were around kissing his ass stopped, and he had to get a job at Starbucks.
Oh, Jesus.
That would be the ideal outcome.
Let's see. Let's see. Want a Lords of the Night Discord? I never used Discord myself, so that'd be one of these other two guys managing if we did. Adam Mangles is the Inquisition of the Night. That sounds a little aggressive.
I mean, we technically have a Discord for pretty much all of the things that we do.
Nothing for you here says, you just said Lunar Order at the same time I thought of it. That was weird. Oh, well, what can I tell you? The Lords of the Night, the Coven, says Moonshock. The Coven. You're not witches. I mean, I know that not necessarily have to be a witch to be in a coven, but it's kind of the implication. Jack Hunsinger says, Ghazi at Starbucks. You don't tell me what to do. I was in the Fifth Element. Oh, look, a wild SDA appeared.
Hi. I was summoned.
Yeah, well, I sent you the link. It was an invitation. I didn't summon you. Otherwise, I'd have to draw.
Well, I was summoned by chat.
Oh, I'd have to put a pentagram on the ground to make you appear or something.
Well, I don't know what you do in your spare time.
Well,
hold on. What kind of offerings are necessary to summon SDA?
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
I'll be right back, guys. Sorry.
Okay. Also, SDA is very fond of fiefdom.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like in court or some version thereof, our nightly court, not night court.
Fiefdom.
We'll have to think about that one. Let's see. Covenant would be more accurate than coven, says Angela. Possibly so. Let's see. Is it the Spanish Inquisition? Starts a pillow fight. Yes. Torture her with the comfy pillows. Let's see. Jim Gila says, Mike.com has terminated Jack Smith IV, quote, effective immediately, unquote, after multiple sexual misconduct allegations against him were published in Jezebel yesterday. Yeah, I read about that, and somebody had posted a tweet of his from way back about denouncing sexual assault and such. Again, allegations are allegations, but what are you going to do? I don't know anything about the guy. I don't recall ever hearing of him before today, so... Disturbing Zen says LOTN Autonomous Collective. Jean-Pierre says SDA, will Rosenstein resign?
I don't know. Possibly.
Yeah, he's talking with Trump on Thursday. Whatever is the result of that conversation, I assume will be the fate of Rosenstein.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. Jean-Pierre says, Scribe, why is there a hit piece on Sargon by the UK MSM? Well, because Sargon has aligned himself with UKIP, and UKIP is a controversial group, and Sargon is a controversial figure on the rise. So, I don't know. Let's see. Well, we've got a few minutes. SDA, tell us about your show with Weibo and what's coming up tomorrow.
Tomorrow we are having on Ranting Monkey, and he's going to come play with us.
Oh, will there be pictures?
No, he's just going to be on the show.
Oh,
but tomorrow night is our call-in show where we actually get people from the chat into the actual hangout, so you guys can come talk to us. And that means you guys can talk to Monkey.
Yay! And when do you broadcast tomorrow?
Oh, right. Sorry, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
Circus Zero said you have to sacrifice a jar of mayo to summon SDA.
Yeah, you know what? You have to sacrifice 3 jars of mayo, and then
Bleh.
there's a couple other steps, but killing mayo is a good start.
So, SDA, I need you to answer a question honestly.
Okay.
Has anyone yet surpassed the quality of my fan fiction?
No.
Excellent. Has anybody else submitted fan fiction?
We actually did get a submission.
Ah, okay.
So we haven't read it yet,
I have competition.
but
Read it tomorrow night.
Why is Check Your Logic
yeah.
asking if Theron knows who you are, SDA?
because I just got screenshots. And in like a live stream, Check Your Logic said that that he thought that Theron was about 30.
Oh.
And then apparently she's in her early 20s. I didn't know that either. I thought she was like 32. Did you guys know that?
I have no idea.
I would have guessed early 20s.
Yeah, it was like 30. And Theron got mad. But Check Your Logic said I can't be lied to again like I was with some dumb American. I guess Check Your Logic thought that I was in my... I guess you thought I was older too?
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not trying to embarrass you.
SD is only 14, guys.
Yeah.
Let's see. Circus says, how about night chatters? Nah. I'm like in court of some kind of like our nightly court. I kind of like that, but that's just me. We'll have to talk about it off air at some point. Faith is advocates an SDA throwing shade at Theron.
I'm not like trying to. She just looks older than early 20s to me.
I've seen pictures. I
Dude,
would have
I
guessed.
didn't do it.
I would have guessed late 20s maybe, but I don't know. With makeup on, you can make somebody look a lot older than they actually are. You know. Let's see. Check Your Logic says, SDA, I thought you were 24 and I thought she was 30.
Okay. I mean, but like, I'm not offended when people think I look older. So,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. So if she's offended when people think she looks older, then like that's her. I don't fucking know. I don't care.
She gets offended easily anyway.
Like, it doesn't mean shit to me because people always like people go both ways with me.
Let's see. Moon Court, Night Court. How about the Court of Dusk?
What? No.
We can't call it like the Twilight Court because then we'll have like sparkly vampires everywhere. Let's see. The Night Jurors. Oh, you guys are going for court a little bit too literally now. Let's see. Night. Yeah, you already said that. Angela Arigo, why not keep it simple, Scribe, and go with Night Court? Yeah. Like, well, I suppose the young people won't understand the reference, but I will, and it'll just seem kind of silly. Crescent Court, like Crescent Court, or are you talking about like the Crescent Moon Court or something? Night Riders, Knights of the Night, Night Judges. You guys are coming up with like superhero team names now. Night Riders. Okay. Dark Knight. 14 years old is the new 25. I hope you're just kidding. That's gross.
The Lunar Council.
The Lunar Council.
Like, what's wrong with fiefdom?
I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying I hate it or something. It's just
not
like
poetic.
Yeah. Let's see, because it's a bit too much of a lateral move from nation. It's just another word, basically. It's just kind of like, something that's a bit more like stream lore-ish or something that pertains something. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
All right. Azure Phoenix says Serfs of the Night.
Serfs of the Night. Like I said, the lords.
I'm okay with that. They're peasants.
The peasants of the night. The pleasant
the more
peasants.
I hear, the more I like nation.
The plebs of the night.
The plebs of the night.
That's Roman.
Oh yeah, the L train says Mr. Plinkett just wants his Night Court. That's right. He needs his VCR fixed so he can watch his Night Court. And anybody who knows what I'm talking about there are fans of Red Letter Media, who I'm a big fan of. Okay. Arabian Nights, Night Knights, Coven of the Night, Scrubs, Moon Poon Crew. Oh, Moon Poon! The Pooners.
Stop sucking up to Scribe.
The Moon Pooners. The Night Tribunal. You guys are making this really, really sort of sinister at this point. It's just supposed to be fun. Apparently, this is the only topic we're going to have from chat now. It's my fault. I apologize.
Well, just
Well, you
just
couldn't be
remember-
happy with fiefdom, so this is what happens.
Right. Well, just remember, whatever the name ends up being, whenever there's a hit piece finally written about us, they're going to use that in their article. Like, they even call their fans, insert whatever they decided here. So
That's right.
watch out. It's going to happen.
Then we should call everybody the meatloafs, because then it'd be like, oh, that's sexist somehow.
Meat.
I'm okay with that because it's about me.
Oh, Peter Haiti says, I asked a serious question and you ignored, so don't blame me. Okay, Peter. Peter, you are my focus.
Oh, that's such that takes me back, man.
I know, Peter. Okay, I'm waiting for you, Peter. I will not pay attention to anything else but you, as per tradition. So
God, that's how Peter became the Peter.
I know, this is how it became the Peter. So the Peter, you are the sun to my my solar system. What do you have to ask, Peter? We're waiting on you. It's all on you now. Pressure's on, Peter. The Peter.
We're waiting, Peter.
Yes, we're waiting on you, Peter. So
Do it.
restate your question. I will pay attention to no one else but you. I'm not going to answer any other questions until Peter gets his question answered. I already asked it like 3 times. Well, you're going to have to do it a 4th time, Peter. Peter. 4th time's the charm. Come on, Peter. Everyone in the chat, you need to have Peter ask his question again, because I'm not going to pay attention to the rest of you until Peter gets his question out. So it's all on you to get him to answer his question. Come on. Waiting on Peter.
Waiting on Peter.
Peter.
Sounds like the name of the Stormy Daniels book.
Waiting on Peter.
By the way, guys, Weibo and I, while we're waiting on Peter, have if you guys like Stormy Daniels a lot and Trump's penis, have a Hungry for Toad t-shirt that you can buy in our 2 Girls 1 Stream Teespring.
Hungry? Well,
Hungry for Toad.
That's a bit of a crossover between us and your show. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Come on, Peter.
Peter.
You asked it 3 times. 4th time, won't you? Just copy and paste, dude.
Did you see what he said in the same tradition? He's not answering.
Oh, well, then I guess we're just going to have to play out the next 4 minutes chatting with ourselves. And
See, Peter, I read what you say. I didn't see your question, though.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. So remember, guys, tomorrow night we'll be on Monkey's channel per usual. And you guys are next streaming tomorrow, yes?
Yes, and we'll wait. What is tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll be playing 7 Days to Die.
Yes.
7 Days to Die. All right, well, this one I can't ignore. Thank you, Sanguine. The Lords of the Night clearly preside over the gloaming court. The gloaming? Gloaming.
You know, I'm going to be streaming 5.5 hours straight tomorrow.
Jeez. Peter.
Empire of the Night.
Oh, well, okay. SDA's reading things, I guess.
Well, I mean, I like presiding over empires.
Our empire.
We keep talking about castles in all of my history classes, and every time we talk about it, I just go, I want a castle. It's like a joke now.
Jean-Pierre says, thoughts on Bowsette?
What's a Bowsette?
She's sexy.
It's a combination of... What's her name?
It's supposed to be the female Bowser. It's like Princess Peach and Bowser mixed together, some shit like that.
Yeah.
I want a castle.
Nah, you can't handle castle.
But why not?
Because they expensive.
Sassy.
They expensive.
I know, but I want one.
Get her Castle Grayskull.
Slightly less expensive.
It's a collector's item now. I used to have Castle Grayskull. I had the whole playset. Sanguine says gloaming is twilight or dusk. Okay. Gloaming sounds like glomming, which glomming onto somebody.
We have to give people dictionaries with the name. It doesn't work, Sanguine.
Yeah. If we have to have it a one-word thing, I like empire slightly over fiefdom, I suppose. But if it has to be something that is equivalent to nation, I still like the court. Thank you, Nick's opinion. Hi, SDA. Guys, I have tomorrow off. They forgot about me at the door. Haven't took my 30 yet.
Oh,
okay.
damn.
Oh, there you go. You people is still on the table, says the rest. Yes, you people. I don't know. That's a little bit. That's a little bit aggressive.
You people of the night.
Yeah, you people of the night.
People of the night.
Well, if it's going to be you people and I might as well call you all streetwalkers.
Oh God.
Well, with that, guys, by the time I finish this, we'll get to the top of the hour. So, everyone in chat, thank you again for joining us as you do every night. Whatever you are, whether you're our empire, our fiefdom, our moon pooners, whatever, we appreciate you, your loyalty and your attendance and your attention. Thank you so much. Thank you, moderators, for keeping an eye on things, even though our chat is the best behaved in the internet altogether. And thank you to everyone who donated. I really do appreciate your generosity. It's very humbling, and it'll go towards my oncoming diabetes. So again, remember, tomorrow night with Monkey on Monkey's channel. SDA, thank you for joining us, and as we close out the show for the night.
Thank you for having me.
And remember, everybody, it's going to be on your channel or Weibo's channel? I forget now.
It's my channel.
Okay, so if you're not already subscribed to SDA, go find SDA's channel, Some Dumb American, on YouTube, and subscribe. And tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time, Two Girls, One Stream, starring the Ranting Monkey, and fan fiction that isn't written by me. But otherwise, guys, Satsu, Monkey, thank you for joining me as usual. Mm-hmm. Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Be gone.
Today's secret word is fiefdom.
Fuck that shit.